Welcome back to the Vinyl Word Podcast. Again, as always, I'm Steve Beach.
And I'm Brian Mayer. Hello.
Just want to, again, continue to thank everybody for listening and viewing. We've got a lot of feedback from the last few episodes, which I'm happy about. If you want to reach out to us, we have a Facebook page. You can always email us at vinylword22@gmail.com. You can also call Brian directly at his number. It's 317.
No, please don't do
kidding.
this. Don't dox me, man. Oh, we're starting up with side 2, the fairy tales, which is the Goose Girl. Side 1 had Barbara Lee, which was very interesting. Side 2 has another famous individual, Ed Wynn.
Yes. Yeah, you may not recognize the name. You're probably thinking, who's Ed Wynn? But when you hear his voice, you'll go, ah, him.
I love to laugh.
Yes.
Long and loud and clear.
I'm Ed Wynn. I'm always happy. It's kind of how he sounds.
Yeah, he signed a very large contract with Disney and starred in many movies. I think the most famous of which is probably Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
Where he was the Mad Hatter.
Yes, that's where you recognize him the most.
And he was also in Mary Poppins. He was one of the people floating in the air from laughter.
Yeah, because I guess he used to have a character.
Yes, he was originally vaudeville, and then he went from vaudeville to radio. One of his characters, called the Perfect Fool, he was a very popular, consistently worked for, 40 years, 50 years?
Yes.
I mean, vaudeville was 20s. He worked into the 60s when he passed on.
Yep. Yeah, his voice was money. I mean, even just the way he would talk, it's not like he was making up a voice the whole time. You know, there's some people sometimes in life, they're just born to do certain things.
Yes.
And he was one of those guys that was just born to do cartoon voices.
They sing in this one, and he has a song. And it's interesting.
Not bad.
Yeah,
well, the lyrics are a little bit weird, yeah, but just as far as his voice,
yes.
I mean, he can sing pretty decent.
Yeah,
but this song in particular is a bit...
it's created a new catchphrase for us.
Yes. We'll talk about that later.
Yes, we will.
So, do we have any more sponsors, Brian?
They're cleaning bombs for men. Imagine you're a bachelor.
Okay.
And you got to, like a girl's coming over. You don't clean. You don't know how to clean. So what you do is you take this bomb out, you put it in the middle of your room, you push the button down, it sprays cleaner into the air. Okay?
Not a bad idea.
It doesn't actually clean, but it smells like you did.
So what are some of the scents that they offer?
Pine Sol.
Okay.
Pledge. If they walk in and it smells like you cleaned, you cleaned.
Even though there's dirty socks and empty pizza boxes on the floor,
it's
still clean.
That's why you pick up and you throw all that stuff into a closet.
Right, exactly.
And then you move on with your life.
And you pray she doesn't open that closet.
Cleaning bombs for men.
We talked a little bit about the song that Ed Wynn sings. And Brian, the last episode we did, you wrote a song.
I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, but I appreciate you mentioning it.
It was good. It was funny. So you writing that song really inspired me to write one for this side.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
I have not heard it yet.
Yes.
I'm going to hear it with you guys.
Yes.
So I'm excited.
And I get to sing it in falsetto too.
Do you
Yes.
you wrote yourself a falsetto song?
Yes, I did.
Why do you hate yourself? We're going to have to work on that.
All right, you ready?
Oh, Steve, without further ado, let's drop the needle and get this going.
Once upon a time, there lived a queen with a beautiful daughter. When the child grew up, it was arranged that she should marry a prince who lived in a far-off
good.
land.
Patriarchy.
The queen was sad to
Starting
lose
off
her
great.
daughter, but happy that she was to make such a successful marriage.
Doubt you'll be happy for the rest of your life. Your only function is to be a present wife. I hope you will always smile, not like your father and I. All he does is sit and watch football games and watch movies. That's such a shame. Don't order HBO, not like I did long ago. I will hate you with all my guts, and I hope you'll one day die.
Oh, that's just a little bit.
Steve,
There's a high part she hits there.
yeah.
So just a good thing we don't have glass around here.
Yeah, your dog was going to start howling.
Yes,
she
I know.
was very close.
Here it is.
Yep. Is it live or is it Memorex?
Right.
I guess we'll stay married, that much is true. Divorce can be expensive and alimony too. That's just an FYI, not like your father and I.
Now, my dear, you must take with you gold and silver
Enjoy it.
ornaments and furniture.
It was
for your
horrible
new
for
home.
your listening ears. I'm sorry.
You get an A for effort, but
Gretchen, Your Majesty, you will go with the princess.
Yes, Your Majesty. And may I take Falada, the talking horse?
Of
Ooh, we
course
get a
you
talking
may, my
horse.
dear. And one other thing. Give me your hand.
Yes,
okay,
Mother.
why do you need my hand?
Show me what you're.
You've cut my finger.
There.
What?
3 drops of blood are falling on this napkin. Take it.
Yes,
and
they
keep
are.
it
That's
as a
usually what
charm.
happens when you cut
It will
somebody.
give you
Steve,
power over your
did the mom
enemies.
just give her
Go
daughter
now, my
a
dear,
bloody napkin?
and God
Yes.
speed
Is
you
that
on your
sanitary?
way.
I think so.
Hope you'll be happy for
Did the napkin have a name?
rest of your life.
Well, the horse did, so I would imagine the napkin did too. What do you think it could have been?
Stay free, maybe.
Be true as the
You're
years
such a
go
jerk.
Sorry.
by, just like your father and I. The princess mounted Falada and rode away, followed by Gretchen.
I'll
riding
leave that
a
one alone.
servant's hack. After they had ridden for a few hours, the princess became
The horse was
thirsty.
tired.
Gretchen, please go to that stream and get me some water.
Go to the stream and get it yourself. I'm not going to be a
A little
servant
fiery
to
for
you.
a servant there, isn't
Princess
she?
went to the stream,
Pretty saucy.
and as she stopped to drink, her napkin fell into the water.
She lost her
Your
sanitary
lucky
napkin
charm
in a
has been
crimson
carried
wave.
away
Yes, she
down the
did.
stream. And now you must do as I say. Come here. You are going to wear my coarse servant's clothes. And I am going to wear your royal robe. And then the prince will think that I am the princess. And listen to me, little one. If you ever breathe a word of this, I will kill you.
So, by the way, in case you
wearing
missed
the
it,
servant's
Gretchen
clothes,
threatened the
princess
princess
rode
with
to the palace,
murder,
while
which is
Gretchen,
the core of any
dressed
good
as a
happy
princess,
fairy
Oh, yeah,
tale
of
for
course.
children.
proudly
Invention
rode in
is no
front,
kill you.
riding Falada.
His Royal Highness, the King. Good morning. I'm the King. How do you do?
Greetings, Your Majesty.
I know, don't tell me. You've come to marry my son. Henry!
Oh, there's
come and meet
Edwin.
your fiancé.
Yep.
Henry! Where is the boy? Playing polo, Your Majesty.
Marco.
Polo? Fancy playing polo at a time
Marco.
like this.
Polo!
Nevertheless, we are delighted that you've arrived, my dear. It gives a perfect excuse for a celebration. Why, we haven't had one for ages. We'll have a party. There'll be fireworks and bangs, simply bucketfuls of cream.
bangs?
And a mountain of meringues.
What are
We'll have a
bangs?
party.
Well, their
With our
hair that
so
hangs in the
charming
front over.
princess.
You might want to
All
think
dusted
about
up.
bangs,
We'll
actually.
do
Sure.
these things. There'll be Chinese lamps by
And
a
Mexican
Mexican
piñatas.
parade, and I'll issue
And
special
other
stamps,
racist things.
which is always good for trade. We'll have a party with a party honours list. And I'll knight the ones I missed when the Chamberlain was on his holes and I couldn't find my knighting
On his
sword
what?
at all.
Did he say
By
holes?
Jove, by jinx, we'll have a ball.
Or
We'll have a
two.
party. We'll make the guest of honor you, and I'll even wear my crown, which I very seldom do. We'll have
Yeah,
a
it doesn't wear much of
party.
anything else either.
And
Yeah.
we'll all wear funny hats. We'll invite some people too, just to show we're Democrats.
Did he say to show we're Democrats?
I think so.
So does that- so that means Tim Allen and Rob Schneider won't get invited.
We'll have a party. And an anthem we will sing, saying, I'm a smashing king, and I'm gracious and I'm noble, and the music will be stirring and sublime. By Jove, by jinx, we'll have a time. Oh, isn't it
Edwin.
fun being a majesty?
Edwin, everybody.
Who's that behind you?
My servant, Your Majesty.
She's pretty, isn't she?
But she's lazy and disobedient.
Is she? Servants are a problem, aren't they?
That's
I
why
would
I
be
have all
pleased
of
if you
mine
would find
killed.
some rough work to do,
When
Your
mine don't
Majesty.
work, I just
Work,
have them
certainly.
murdered.
She can help Colin. He's the
Colin?
boy who looks after the geese.
But Your
Colin Powell?
Majesty, the word
Colin
to a
Farrell?
die.
Colin Jost?
I will tend the geese with Colin, Your Majesty.
Gretchen knew that the princess would remain silent, but she was afraid that
Because the
Falada,
princess has
the
no
talking
agency,
horse, might
apparently.
give her away.
Right?
And one more favor, Your Majesty. This horse, he is willful and stubborn, and he has made me angry. Have him taken away and order your groom to cut off his head.
Well, if that's what you want, I suppose it'll have to be done.
So whatever she
Shame.
says he has to
No,
do.
I'm not going to think about it.
Burn
I
the
refuse to
crops.
spoil my
I guess
day
I'll
for
have
the
to
sake
do
of a
it.
horse.
I love his
We'll
utter
have a
indifference to
party.
life.
We'll invite some girls and boys.
So, another
and
part
I'll
of
buy them
Fairy
all the
Tale,
toys
Steve.
that I've
Horse
always loved to
murder.
play
I
with,
know.
but my royal dad would
Like, I
never
wonder,
mind me.
you know, like Mario Puzo, the author of the Godfather novel. Maybe this is where he got
Maybe.
it.
Everybody's getting murdered, but let's have a party. Some sad music.
The horse was killed.
Oh, that was the murder
and its
music.
head hung
Wait.
on the city gate.
We never heard the horse
And every
talk.
morning as the princess passed with
What was
Colin
the point of
to
it
take peace,
being a
I-
talking
she would speak to
horse?
it.
No
Poor
idea.
Falada. What
Poor
a
Falada.
terrible fate for a handsome, beautiful horse.
Then the princess and Colin would drive the geese to the meadow, where they would sit
In a
and
car.
talk together. And the princess would comb her golden hair.
The sun up there shining on your hair makes it look
Oh.
like pure gold.
Is that
You
Colin?
should keep your eyes
Colin
on the
is the
geese,
Forrest
Colin.
Gump of
I'm
fairy
not
tales.
Yeah, I
one for
guess.
words.
So I guess it is Colin Farrell.
Anyone as beautiful as you before.
Why, thank you, Colin.
I think you must be just about the most beautiful thing in the whole wide world. Better than a herd of cattle. I like you.
I like you.
Oh, I thought, yeah.
Better than the turkey's prattle. I like
You're pretty,
you.
Jenny.
Yes.
Hair like golden straw.
I
Teeth
wonder
like
what
an
rhymes
ivory
with
saw.
straw.
More and more and more, I like you. Every day I find the whiteness of your teeth.
The whiteness of your teeth.
Puts me in mind of great.
You know, I have
shining
3 young boys, and I've told them, you know, when you find a girl that you're attracted to, always check their teeth first.
Yep.
Are your teeth white? Good.
Yep.
We can date.
All these things, I like you.
I like you.
In fact, why shouldn't I say it? I love you.
Oh,
Friend zone
you are
arriving in
very
3,
sweet, Colin.
2,
and I like you very
1.
much too. But I don't love you.
We have
I
liftoff.
love the prince.
And give me a
Friend
lock of
zone
your golden
active.
hair
Yes.
keepsake.
Don't be silly, Colin.
If you don't
You're
give
too
it me,
nice
I'll take
for me
it.
to love you.
Come on now. Come on, you give it
Go
me.
on. Let me report you. I am not a smart man, but I know what groping is.
Why are you making my heart flow away?
Oh, my hat! It's blown away! Hey, hat, come here! Hat, come
By the
here!
way,
Come here!
the princess,
come
who has no agency and is afraid of everyone, now has power
By the time
over
Colin
the
had caught his
wind.
hat, the princess
Because of the
had
blood.
combed her hair
Yeah.
and tied it up so that he couldn't touch it. Every day the same thing happened. The head of the horse at the city gate would talk when they passed him by.
Wait, what?
They would sit in the field.
What?
And
The
Colin would
horse's
ask
head
for
was
a lock of her
hanging,
golden
which
hair.
I guess is where
When she
taxidermy got
refused, he would
started.
try to take
Okay.
it, and then she would summon
What do
the
you
wind.
think the horse head could have been
Colin's
saying
hat
to
would
her all
blow
this
away,
time?
and Colin would run to
Save
catch it.
me!
At last
Too
he grew tired of
late.
this, so he complained to
This
the
is where
king.
Mr. Ed came from.
Right.
Only- Hello, I'm
Mr.
Mr. Dead.
Why not? She's pretty, isn't she?
Ah, she's pretty, but she annoys me.
Well, girls are a bit like that, you know.
But she
That's why I have mine murdered.
nailed to the city gate.
Eccentric.
But
All the girls who
talked back
didn't
to
like
her.
me before were kind of annoying too, I guess.
She tells the wind to blow off
I
my
suppose you were
hat when it
pawing at
blows.
them also.
Extraordinary. Now,
I
come on,
like
Colin.
you.
You can't ask me to believe a thing like that.
Another restraining order for me.
Next day the king followed Colin and saw with his own eyes everything the boy had described.
Including the zombie horse
That
head.
evening he sent for the princess
Yes.
and asked what troubled her.
If I told you, I would go in fear of my life, Your Majesty.
Well, don't tell me then. Tell your story to this old fireplace.
The princess sat in front of the fireplace,
Hello,
and
fireplace.
believing
How are
she
you
was
today?
alone, she told the story.
This gives
of the
random
gypsy
objects, you know,
and that
personality.
she was
I have
true
had the most
princess.
amazing day.
Fireplace.
Today I spoke to
Dear
a horse head.
fireplace.
It said,
More than I can say, because I love the prince very dearly, and my only wish is to be a good and loving wife to him.
if you know what I
When
mean.
a girl,
And then she winked at the fireplace, because she's an idiot.
she'll do anything on earth to please him.
And the king popped in his head. Really?
Anything. Let's have a party.
Yep.
It'll just be you and me.
So, anything to please. Marriage, Steve. A one-way road.
Hey, that's the way it was in the Middle Ages.
There's nothing in the world.
The guy can do whatever he wants, and she just has to please him.
Yeah.
That's the way of the world, then.
That matters, but love I should know.
Yeah. I will say this one's a good singer.
It is.
She's talented.
She is.
The king had hidden himself by the chimney and had listened to all the princess had said.
Because
He
he's
ordered her
creepy.
to be
I'm
dressed
imagining
in her
him just being
royal robes,
suspended,
and then
like
he sent
hanging
for the
a la
prince.
like
Hanging from a tree.
not like Tom
There's
Cruise from
the
Mission
real
Impossible.
princess. But
Yeah.
you're
All
beautiful.
flat out.
Of course she is. That's why that servant girl Gretchen kept her out of the way. And while we're on the subject of Gretchen, what are we going to do to her? Chop off her head?
Oh, no, please don't do that.
We could banish her from the kingdom.
They're kind of happy with this
Yes,
chopping
that
off the
seems
head
rather
thing.
lenient, doesn't it?
Horses, people,
Mind you, we could
princesses,
do it in
whoever.
public with everybody looking on. That would be most humiliating.
I don't know if you realize this, but I derive pleasure from the pain of others.
Yes.
Princess married the prince, and they both lived
There's a
happily
German word for
ever
that. Schadenfreude.
When a girl loves a boy.
By the way, Steve, you and I, we're not going to talk about the prince casually switching wives, are we? I mean, that just,
No, it's just,
like, Gretchen wakes up and she's married to the prince, and then
realizes,
she's
wrong woman.
right.
Let's trade places. Okay,
Right.
now I'm married to you.
And then she's simply excommunicated.
Yep. Quick to divorce.
Yeah. So,
No rules, no laws, just, when you're king, it's great to be the king.
it's good to be the king.
Yeah.
It's an accurate retelling of the classic tale from the Brothers Grimm, The Goose Girl. She's engaged to be married and experiences wacky hijinks along the way.
Switch places with me, or I'll kill you.
Featuring Alice in Wonderland's Ed Wynn as the lovable king.
Kill the talking horse and banish your servant. Done. Let's have a party.
It's a journey of self-discovery as the princess strives to find her prince.
Come on, let me grow you.
And stick around for that trademark happy ending.
Let's put your servant in a spiked barrel and roll her through the village. Ha ha!
It's a heartwarming tale as old as time with a relevant moral for today. Servants, treat your masters respectfully or you'll be murdered? Is that right? Coming soon to a theater near you. Welcome back to the Vinyl Word.
It was such a sweet fairy tale, Brian. Filled with murder and
Loving
blood.
lovers, loving love.
Yes. Once again, it was very strange. Yeah, just like, I think there's a few things to learn from side 2 there.
I'm curious what you got.
I didn't say it was good things, just things that I observed, I guess.
Okay.
First of all, the horse never spoke.
No. Like, there's a talking horse who says 0 words on this.
Yeah, and we never hear it. But then for somehow he's able to speak even though his head is cut off.
Right. Zombie horse. Which, by the way, I really like my Mr. Dead joke.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And also, I guess, at the end, in order for the prince and princess to be happy, you have to hurt others. You have to murder a horse. You have to take your previous wife and publicly humiliate her. So that way she never comes back. Oust her from the community.
Well, like, that's better than the original Brothers Grimm
What do you mean?
ending. Oh, in the actual Goose Girl that was in the original Brothers Grimm, Gretchen is placed into a barrel that has spikes on the inside.
What?
And is rolled through the town being pulled by a horse. And
What?
they kill her that way. Yeah, that's how Gretchen dies in the original Goose Girl.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's strange. Yeah, I think I've come up with a new phrase for whenever I'm stressed or if there's a situation I really don't want to deal with. I'm just going to say, let's have a party.
I will say Edwin clearly, I think, was having fun with this.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
So I wanted to talk a little bit just about Brothers Grimm.
Sure.
Because it's just an interesting...
Yeah.
Like, we were raised, our generation was raised on Disney fairy tales. Disney fairy tales are not Brothers Grimm fairy tales.
Yeah, they were very well. Didn't a lot of them derive from Grimm brothers?
Yes,
though?
yes.
They were just very softened.
Cinderella, Snow White, Rumpelstiltskin, the Goose Girl, all of those were Grimm brother fairy tales. However, most of them are pretty darn crazy. The Grimm brothers for Snow White, it's actually her mom who hates her, not her stepmom. So her mom hires a huntsman to kill her. When that doesn't work, she tries to do it 3 times. Cinderella, that's not her name. Her name is Ella. She got the cinder because she wasn't allowed a room, so she had to sleep by the cinders of the kitchen fire to keep warm.
Right, thus the name Cinderella.
Yeah, her name was a slur against her, basically. Like making fun of the fact that she didn't have a room and had to sleep by a fire. Not cool, but that didn't make it into this,
Right, they don't talk about that.
Yeah. By the way, the golden slipper, the glass
slipper?
The glass slipper was in the original, but when the king goes to put it on the feet of the stepsisters all cut different parts of their feet off to fit into the shoe. One cuts off small toes, one cuts off a big toe, and the third cuts off her heel. So the happy ending of that one is the prince takes a glass slipper filled with the blood of 3 different women and slides it onto Cinderella's foot. That's your happy ending, folks.
That's great.
So, yeah. In fact, the Grimm brothers, interestingly enough, they were actually so dark when they released their fairy tales, they actually had to soften them for the people who were reading them right then. By the way, 1812. That's when they published their first collection. If you look around for those now, you'll find thick versions and thin versions.
Thinner versions, which are more softened.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Of course, not the gory details.
Yep. If you want to learn and you want to get the real stuff, go with the thick. If you just want to have the stories and have it be like not give your kids nightmares.
Yeah.
This is
so
what you're going for.
If the Grimm brothers were around today, they'd be making awesome horror flicks.
Yeah, they would be in the Blumhouse for sure.
Yes.
And they would probably also be YouTube stars.
Yes.
Let's be clear.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
just all the gore and all the goth and everything else.
Oh, they'd be TikToking this stuff like mad.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Gosh, yeah, that's crazy. Well, thanks again, guys, for listening to another episode. As always, we'd love to hear from you. Our email is vinylword22@gmail.com. Thanks.